Welcome to Dump Truck Toolbox. I'm Alan, and today we're going to be looking at a couple of new work sites. So this is a concrete recycling facility. This is a new one, my first time going to it. And I have some concrete that was pulled up by another crew and loaded into our yard, and then this morning they put it on my truck. I think it came from the work site we're gonna be at later, but I'm not sure. So you can see the rusty reinforcing rods on the right side there. The stuff I'm bringing, at least some of it has reinforcing rods in it. And so it's really cool that you have a facility that will take that. I am curious how they process it, and I assume eventually they turn it into concrete, crushed concrete. But you got to get the reinforcing rods out of it first. So I have no idea how they do that. There was a lot of machinery here at this site, but I just dump it and go. And so they're pulling it out. A couple more pieces will fall, I think. There's my tailgate banging. And I'd never been to this yard before. And the crew at the new job site was waiting for me to get there so they could start loading some spoils from the job site. So I'm getting underway here. Probably shouldn't have moved that early. I probably should have pulled my bed down a little more. But I'm pulling out, and I'm thinking I'm heading to the exit. And so I pull up here and try to go around a big pile, and then it becomes obvious I can't make it. So I turn around and start heading out the way I came in. And that's my experience. Whenever I go to a new materials yard or a new job site, there's always a little bit of inefficiency because of, let's face it, I'm ignorant. And so here we're getting underway. And so we're going to speed things up to get to the other job site. So I exited the interstate and drove on some surface streets to get turned around, heading in the right direction. This is the same interstate we've been working on, but a different entrance ramp. This is my first time. This is my first day working at this job site. So you'll see it's sort of tight here. I'm going to have to pull over, bounce up over the curb. I've got my four ways on and my strobe light, obviously. And I'm going to get set up, and they'll load that pile of dirt on the right there from the orange excavator. And we actually only worked on that big pile of dirt for a day or two, and then it was all gone, and we moved on down the ramp there to do other stuff. I'm sort of glad. This was fine. It was safe, but it was definitely bumpy, and it was a little stressful pulling in and pulling out here. The crew here was really good. They set up things to be safe and as easy as possible. And on the first time in, one of the senior operators guided me in and guided me out to, watch for traffic and all. And then eventually, you sort of get oriented. And if you look on the left side, my tarp is rolling back. I can't see much of the tarp, but at least you can see the frame there moving. And once the tarp's back, I pull up and get ready, and then I'm actually looking at my right mirror to see cars coming at a distance, and then glancing at my left mirror, and then looking carefully at the concave mirror on the left, and then when that's clear, I pull out. Okay, new ramp here, at least new to the channel, but not new to me. This ramp's been there for 50-something years, and 50-something years ago, my mom was driving our 1968 Ford Custom Sedan, large car with a very weak engine, a 240 cubic inch 6-cylinder gasoline engine. She got to about this point on the ramp, accelerating up to whatever the speed limit was at that time, 65. She looks in her left mirror and goes, "Oh, I can't make it, there's not enough room," and slams on her brakes, coming to a stop. Her nose, the nose of the car goes down, the rear bumper of the car comes up, and there's this nice solid 2-inch trailer hitch ball. While this is happening, there is a Volvo sedan sort of tailgating my mom, and the driver of that car looks in the left mirror and goes, "I can just make it," and floors it. The Volvo driver looks up, and there's my mom coming to a hard stop. And so he slams on his brakes, his front bumper dives, and the trailer hitch on the back of our car goes through his radiator and breaks his engine block. So his car's totaled. It's his fault. He's following too close, wasn't paying good attention. And then our car was not worth very much. It was old. It was a cheap car. And so it was totaled too in the insurance company's eyes. And they wrote my dad a check for $450. My dad was a sheet metal smith who worked at the NASA Langley Research Center. And one Saturday, he brought home some of his metalworking tools, and with my help, he sort of pounded the trunk pan back into shape, straightened out the trunk itself. Actually had to pay someone to rebend and rechrome the bumper, but the Slade family, fortunately no one was hurt in either car, and the Slade family made out financially from that deal. So that's a hauling tale of that ramp. So here I am at the dump out area, and I've dumped out here before in this truck, but not at this location. I dumped out at this location at the previous company, but today what's unique is we'd had a lot of rain, driving on sand here, and you can see the deep ruts in front of me. And so I'm looking at those ruts and I go, I'm not sure I can make it. I'm not sure I should go up there. Okay, I know what, I'll give it a try. And I pull up a little more, and then I go, no, this is a bad idea. And so I put it in reverse and decide I'm gonna just, back it around, do a big C turn here, and go backing up on the other side of the dump out area. Reasonably efficient way to do this. And then, I start spinning here. I can't get out. I reach over, I clicked on my locker. This locks the 8 rear traction tires together, and I was able to get just enough momentum to get through here. I leave the locker on, and you'll see that was a really good decision to leave the locker on in just a minute. I'd used a rear locker in other dump trucks, but the first time I used it was actually in a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and we were driving some pretty trails in Utah, and I just turned that locker on and off, just had lots of fun with it. Never got stuck. Really probably didn't need it on the Jeep, but in the dump trucks I need it. So you can see this is soft here too, and I am spinning my rear tires. They're all locked together, so all 8 of them are spinning as one unit, and I needed them to get through this area here. And surprisingly, this was better than the first path, which you can see up on the sort of the right side of the screen up there. I don't think I would have made it if I'd stayed there. And so I'm going pretty far back here to get to where there's other piles where previous dump trucks have dropped their load. And you see I'm still struggling to get through here. Okay, so switch views after I turn on the PTO and unlock the tailgate, dump out here. And I do love this truck, but I don't understand how I can have 18 tons or so on the truck and have the bed go up reasonably quickly, and then I put it in gear, pull ahead a little bit, let more of the stuff come out, and then I'm gonna speed up and slap the gate. There's the gate slapping, more stuff came out. Okay, here's what's frustrating. The bed goes up with a full load relatively quickly, and when it's time to put the bed down, it takes forever. I don't understand why. And so given my experience when I dropped off the cement, I felt like I started moving too early with the bed still up, so this time I'm going to sit, because I know I've got a bit of a rough ride to get out of this mucky dump out area. So I'm going to get the bed down, and I think I locked the tailgate too right here. We'll see if we can hear it or not. Okay, so there the bed's down. Yep, just locked the tailgate. You can hear the little hiss or click or whatever that was. Okay, so I still have the axles locked, and I'm going to hit this soft area right there, and I'm having to give it a fair amount of throttle. That's one of the keys I've discovered with taking a dump truck through an area like this. If you slow down too much, you sink in, and so I don't want to tear things up by going too fast, but I need to keep enough momentum. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you is this is actually my page from this day, or actually the next day, I think. And so you can see I did 6 loads. Those are my pickup times. I record my starting mileage and my ending mileage, and I was able to get 5.1 miles per gallon. And so that's better than other days. And I think it's because I had very little idle time. I pulled in, loaded, pulled out, pulled in, dumped out, pulled out, and so I'm getting better fuel mileage, and we're going to continue to track that. And then the next time I do a budget video, hopefully I'll have a good sense of how I would budget for the fuel cost if I were an independent owner-operator. The people at this sand pit are very good. We don't buy their sand because the State Department of Transportation requires certain technical characteristics that their sand doesn't have. But they're very good to work with. My previous employer, we did use their sand for a giant warehouse and parking lot project that we were being hired out to help with. So there's nothing wrong with their sand. It's just technically a different set of material. So I'm pulling in here to the scales, and I have to pick up the paperwork, and you can see some paperwork already tucked under my visor there. But if you look at the reading on the scale there, it's going to be about 23,800 pounds. And my truck, when the bed's clean, will be about 23,300 or 23,200 if I scrape the last of the asphalt out. And so actually the next day I had a little downtime before I had to go to the job site, and I took it to the washout area, and I washed out probably 500 pounds of mud and dirt and sand and rock. Thank you for tuning in. As always, it's a pleasure to have you join us on the channel. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't done so. Click like if today's video was useful or interesting. And I hope to see you again soon on the Dump Truck Toolbox.